Hello guys, it's your boy Anomaly from Sweden, and this is the definitive guide for CSGO skins. Now with CS2 coming out, there's going to be a lot of new players that are coming into the game who don't know what skins are or how they behave, and in this video I'm going to explain the basics of every single aspect of CSGO skins. But before that, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, which is Skinport. Now if you don't know, Skinport's a CSGO marketplace where you can buy and sell CSGO skins safely for real money. And on Skinport, there's no fee for buying skins. So say you wanted to buy these Omega gloves field tested, it would run you 660 euro. Meanwhile on Steam, they're listed for almost 900 euro, which is a huge difference. They have over 1 million CSGO skins listed. That's really crazy. And if you sell skins, your payouts are also sent in your local currency, with many countries supported. So if you want to try out Skinport to buy and sell skins, then please do so from the link in the description, and thank you once again for sponsoring this video. Now, first of all, what are skins? Well, it's pretty simple. They are basically very cool colors for your guns, and you get them from weapon cases, weekly drops, or operation rewards, and the odds of cases are very bad, so you should always keep it as a rule. If you want a skin, you should never open cases to get it, always buy it. Next, what use do skins have? Well, they don't really have a use. They don't improve you in-game, you don't do more damage if you have a skin, but they can, however, be traded with other players. They can be sold on the Steam community market for wallet balance, or they can be sold or traded on third-party marketplaces like Skinport, today's sponsor. Now, why do people pay thousands of dollars for skins when they don't even make you better in-game? Well, first of all, they make the game look cooler and more interesting. You can compare. To the left, we have just the default skins, and to the right, we have some very cool skins. Obviously, the right side looks a lot cooler. Skins are also really like the only way you can customize your character in-game. In CS, you can customize your view model or your UI color, but in-game, no one's going to see that. So if your character looks cool like this with skins, that's the only way you can customize your character in-game. And third, a lot of people actually buy skins as investments because they tend to either go up in value or usually stay pretty much the same price. People tend to invest in hopes of the skins going up in value in the future. And lastly, I feel this way as well. If you don't have skins, you're almost kinda left out, which sounds a little weird, but it is true. If you're playing with 4 friends and every single one of them has skins and the enemy team has skins and you're only there with default no skins, you're gonna feel a little bit like a pleb, which is cringe to say because it's almost like flex culture, which is cringe. But it's true. Now, what information does a skin hold? Well, there's a lot of information that a skin has that makes just that skin unique. Some of those are the float value, the rarity, the pattern template, the exterior, which is tied to the float value, and some skins also have, for example, a stat track, a souvenir, or other aspects to it. Very cool. First off, the rarity. It's very simple. That's what makes this skin a red, this skin a purple, this skin a pink, and this skin a blue. And in this little list that I made, you can see which rarities can be applied to which sort of items. For example, a covert is only a weapon, that's the red quality. Meanwhile, the red master is only on agents, etc. You can pause the video here if you want to look further into it. Haha, very cool. Every skin also has an exterior, so you can see these are minimal wear, while these ones are field tested. And no matter what you think, if you have a minimal wear or a factory new skin and you use it in-game, it's never going to go down in quality. If you have a skin that's factory new, it's forever going to be factory new. Now, the reason this one is minimal wear and this one is field tested is because of the float value. Like I said, they're tied together. The float value is basically a hidden number which determines what sort of an exterior it is. The number can be anywhere from 0 to 1, with 0 being a very factory new skin and 1 being a very battle-scarred skin. Basically, you can think of it as the number for how many scratches it has. If the number is higher, there's a lot of scratches. If the number is lower, there's few scratches. Some skins can also have their float values capped, meaning that you can't get some skins in some conditions. An example of this is the Doppler, the Fade, or the Tiger Tooth, which are all capped between 0 and 0.08. That means that there's a very, very tiny part where you can get minimal wear, making it very rare. And with some of these float capped skins, it is rare to get them in, for example, minimal wear, but it doesn't make them more expensive because minimal wear, rarer to get, market, less people want them, and they have more scratches. It's just not very good. An opposite example of this is the Fire Serpent, which is capped between 0.06 and 0.76. As you can see, that means Factory New is very, very, very rare, and since Factory New is better than all the other conditions, that makes the Factory New Fire Serpent very rare and very expensive. Some skins, even though they're battle scarred, also kind of change for the better. For example, the Op Desert Hydra, which looks like this when it's Factory New, but it looks like this when it's battle scarred. You can see the scope when it's battle scarred is fully black, and a lot of people like that, which makes this one very expensive in battle scarred. Now, every single skin also has a pattern template, and that's basically what decides that this side looks like this and the other side looks like this. Now, the pattern template can be between 0 and 1000, and for example, this might be how the pattern 348 is applied to a bayonet case hardened. Meanwhile, this could be how the pattern is applied to a 963. You see, it's basically just how the picture is put on the skin. There's also different special conditions that a skin can have, for example, stat track, souvenir, and different fades and phases. Stat track skins basically just have this little counter, and they're only available from cases. All this does is it counts the amount of kills you get with that gun. Souvenir skins are only obtainable from souvenir packages, which you buy during a CSGO major, and they come pre-applied with gold stickers, which is pretty cool. Different fade percentages are only available on fade skins, and that's basically just the pattern template, which says that this Karambit fade has a lot of purple, meanwhile this full fade Karambit fade has no purple and a lot of yellow, which looks a lot better. The higher the fade, the better the skin. And lastly, phases are only available on Doppler and Gamma Doppler skins, and it's basically just what determines what sort of a color the skin has. As you can see, these are both Shadow Dagger's Doppler, but one is a sapphire and one is a ruby, so they look completely different. With phases, some are rarer than others, with phase 1 and 3 being the most common. They have a bit of black color in them, and people don't like that. What the f? Phase 2 and 4 are more wanted because they don't have as much black color and are cleaner in game. Then we have ruby, sapphire, and emerald, which are considered gems. They are much rarer than the regular phases and have no black. These are the most expensive. And the rarest one you can get is actually the Doppler Black Pearl. Technically, it's the most rare one, but before CS2, not many people liked them. Now with CS2, they do look a little bit better, but black pearls are still cheaper than gems, even though technically it's a lot rarer. Now, you might think to yourself, okay, I know the basics of skins now, but what is a good skin? What makes a skin better than another one? A lot of it is pretty subjective. In my opinion, there's a lot of skins which are pretty cheap that look very good, and there's a lot of skins which are really expensive that look shit. But there are a lot of factors that play in if a skin is good or bad, such as the visual, which of course is a bit subjective, but if a skin looks better than another, obviously most people are going to prefer the one that looks better. Next, of course, is the rarity, like how almost always a red is going to be considered better than a purple. Next, if it's on a good weapon. For example, the Butterfly Crimson Web is considered a very good skin, meanwhile the CC Crimson Web is not considered a very good skin, because a butterfly is obviously better than a CC. Next is the scarcity, like how a skin has a low supply, it's rarer, usually it's considered better. Like this Splash Jam in Factory New, I think there's only about 50 in the world, which is very low. Next is exterior, like how a Factory New is almost always better than a Battle Scarred. If a skin is discontinued, it's also considered better, like how the Dragon Lore is from the Cobblestone collection, and the Cobblestone map is discontinued, meaning the Op Dragon Lore doesn't drop anymore, making it a bit safer to buy and also rarer because it's discontinued. And finally, what collection the skin is from, like how the MP7 Teal Blossom is a very ugly skin, but it is part of the Saint Mark collection, which is very coveted, which means that this skin is still worth almost €100. And obviously, it's not because of the looks. Good job! Now you know the basics of CSGO skins. Now you might think to yourself, okay, I know all this info about skins, but where do I get skins? Where do I buy skins? And honestly, if you're completely new and you're learning new things from this video, I would suggest just using the Steam Community Market. And I'm not kidding, it's just very safe. So if you're completely new, I would suggest using this, at least until you know how to use it and how to buy and sell skins, and then you can venture out to third-party sites. The downside with the Steam Community Market is that prices are generally much higher than marketplaces. And of course, if you have wallet balance, you can't withdraw that to real money. Once you're more comfortable with skins and how they work, then you can venture on to third-party marketplaces like Skinport, which is today's sponsor. Now, whether you're buying or selling, or maybe you just opened a very cool skin, you might wonder, how do I accurately price check this skin? Let's say, for example, you just opened up this StatTrak factory new AK Nightwish, and you're freaking out and you're wondering, oh my god, how much is this worth in real money? Well, there is a good website called Price Empire, not sponsored by the way, where you can check the value of skins. You just type in the name of the skin and you can see that it's worth around $200, which is very good. And lastly, I have to mention how to avoid getting scammed, because CS trading and skins is riddled, absolutely infested with scammers, and I've made about 3-4 in-depth videos on how to avoid getting scammed, and I urge you to check those out, but I'll do a quick rundown of things you should always consider to avoid getting scammed. First, always assume that everyone on the internet is out to get you and trying to scam you. Number 2, never trust anyone who wants to buy your skins. More likely than not, they're a scammer unless you can accurately check that they are in fact legit. Number 3, obviously Valve or anyone from Steam will never contact you via Steam chat or Discord or whatever. That's just a scam. Number 3, never ever log in to any website other than steamcommunity.com with your Steam username and your password, because if they're making you log in with username and password, chances are they might be a scam. And number 5, obviously never install any programs or click any weird links. For example, people inviting you to their Face It tournament as the last player. That's just a scam. And now you basically have just taken a very quick, absolute speedrun guide of CSGO skins. Thank you guys for watching, and send this to all your friends playing other games who are now trying out CS2 for the first time, because chances are they will stumble over some skins, whether they're buying or they get them as drops or they just open cases, and they might not know what to do with them. But in this video, as you saw, you will safely learn exactly what everything means and what to do. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video helped. If you're new, please write a comment saying thank you, Anomaly, so my self-esteem feels very good, so I know I at least helped one idiot who just started playing CS to not get scammed. Thank you.